let's go to the special session now. You made a deal. How did you make a deal in the special session when you couldn't do it in the regular session? Senator Papen?
I think, Sam, I think that both sides sat down, and there was like 15 of the legislators that sat down and worked out things that they felt, we can't live with this, and we can't live with this, so what can we do about it, and how can we not do that? And in the end, I know part of the problem was that in the bill, the nursing homes, the senior citizen centers were removed, and that was something that the Democrats felt was unacceptable. The governor wanted some roads, and I think we all wanted roads, but the way the governor wanted to take the dollars to pay for the roads was not something that we felt we could live with. And so we came to an agreement where we split the way she wanted to pay for the roads, the way we wanted to pay for the roads, and did that. And then we were then able to also put the I keep saying nursing homes, the senior centers back in there, and our universities. We were able to put those back into the bill, and then we were able to pass that bill and get out of there in, what, 3.5 hours?
Mr. Gentry, you were a key player. How did you do it?
Well, yeah, we had a little more time, I'd say. You know, as Stuart said, you know, after I think there was a lot of disappointment. We're sent there to do a job, and we didn't do that job. And so I thought everyone recognized that you know, they were not fulfilling their duties to their constituents in their state, and we got back together, and you know, everyone went home with a half a loaf. We were able to spend a little more money out of the general fund. John Arthur Smith and, you know, our speaker were key in coming to that agreement, and we were successful at the end of the day.
Okay, you did it. You did it in secret, basically. On the phone, meetings, 15 people, my office, your office, let's get together, what about this, what about that? And you have an open law here in New Mexico, which says the public has a right to be in on the process as it goes forward. Not just on a Monday, okay, this is what we've done, we're going to vote, then let's all go home, and the business community is delighted, and we have capital outlay and what have you. So I just have to ask you about that, because Susan Bowe, is the executive director of the New Mexico Foundation for Open Government, complained and said, the whole process gave the appearance of government being conducted behind closed doors, which is never good government. Please.
Well, I think we have passed an open conference committee bill in New Mexico, and I think our conference committees are open. And I think that basically this was not a conference committee in that respect. I know from the Senate Democrats, we wanted John Arthur Smith, and the Republicans from the Senate, we wanted Stuart Ingle and John Arthur Smith to craft and we would stand behind them. Whatever they came up with, we would be supportive of.
Does anyone think there's a problem with the open government law?
I don't have a problem with
open meetings?
I don't have a problem with it, but we haven't had any conference committees since it was passed.
Well, you didn't have any conference committee because you didn't do it in the regular session.
The thing about it is, you know, the thing about it is conference committees are conference committees. They say in Washington they have open conference committees. They do, but they don't. They have an unofficial one first, and then they have the official one. We haven't gotten to the unofficial parts yet. But the thing about it is, and let's not leave out the fourth floor. They were certainly a part of this agreement on this special session and to get some things done. So I don't want to leave the governor's office out and on this at all, because there's basically a general attitude here of let's get this problem solved. Let's go on and get the things done for the people in New Mexico. We need to do. Everybody was involved. The thing about it is, there's sometimes, as you know, you're a newsman. You discuss stories, I'm sure, basically. What can we say about this for sure? Is that public? No, but you're not a governing thing, but there's sometimes things we have to talk about. We just can't say, okay, we're talking about this, and the next thing it's on TV. Well, when you're a representative or a senator and you're in government, when you've talked about it, many people get the idea it's already been voted on and passed. And it's not that they don't care, it just sometimes are portrayed as things that are already done when they're not.
Well, someone weigh in on this too, because you're right. I'm not naive. Often, if you have very delicate negotiations going on, if you have other people kibitzing every 5 minutes, your base or not your base, the reporters, not me, of course, I never did anything like that, you can't do it, you can't do it because you're pushed and pulled. Weigh in on this. So should we do away with this law? I mean, either...
I think the more open government is, the better it performs. It may make things a little bit slower, but when you have an open debate with regard to what you're doing, you can avoid problems. And what we tried to do, and I do thank Speaker Tripp for this, is that we knew that there was a meeting to close the gap, but you understand it was just a gap. We had the bill that came out of the Senate. I think there's only one vote against it. It was changed drastically in the House Ways and Means Committee, it's called now. And that was towards the end, like the last week. So there's not much time to right the ship and close that gap. So that's why it didn't happen, not assigning blame. So, but the gap being closed, this big, huge, year-long task of how do we spend this money has been accomplished. And now you have a gap as a result of that change. Folks, smart folks should be in a room trying to figure out how do we close that gap. But the public has a right to know what the gap was and how it's closed, and that was in the committee process. And on the House side, we made sure to convene the committees. The chairs called the committees and took the bills up to committee where any member of the public had an opportunity to do it. It was fast, 3.5 hours, but I think everybody agreed if you're just closing the gap and there's pretty universal agreement, don't spend a lot of taxpayer time on this, let's get it done.